Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Welcome to the fifth lecture of support and movement. In today's lecture, we will going to discuss deformities of skeleton. Deformities of skeleton. When skeletal system becomes weak, cause deformation of bones or change in the shape of the bone. It is known as deformities of the skeleton. Some of the causes are genetical, hormonal, or nutritional deficiencies. Genetical causes. Deformation of skeleton may be hereditary. It is present by birth or it is congenital diseases such as the cleft palate. As you can see in the picture, it is a horizontal gap in the upper lip. During development, the palatine process of maxilla bone fails to fuse with palatine bone. Next one is the microcephaly. Microcephaly is the small sized skull due to genetic defects occurs during development. Arthritis. Arthritis is the inflammation and degeneration of bones that damages the joints. It has about 100 different types. Osteoarthritis. Most common type of arthritis which is degenerative joint disease of knee and hip joint caused by genetic defect. Hormonal causes. Hormonal causes, these are caused by hormonal imbalance with age. For example, osteoporosis. In osteoporosis, bones become weak, thinner, and less flexible because of the loss of calcium. It occurs mostly in aged women and it is related to the decrease in estrogen level after menopause. The treatment of this condition is the hormone replacement therapy HRT, that is also known as estrogen replacement therapy, which offers the best protection against osteoporotic space bone fracture. Nutritional deficiency. The first condition that is developed because of the nutritional deficiency is osteomalacia. It is a condition that develops in adults because of the vitamin D deficiency that leads to softness of bones as calcium salts are not being deposited in bones. Second one is rickets. It is vitamin D deficiency in children that makes the bones too weak. The weight bearing bones of the body does not able to support the body weight, that causing the bowing of the legs and bending of the spine. It is treated by vitamin D fortified milk and exposing the skin to the sunlight. Slip disc. Between two vertebrae, a cartilaginous disc is present which acts as a cushion pad or a shock absorber during movement. This disc is composed of two parts, nucleus pulposus and annulus fibrosus. The first part, nucleus pulposus, is an inner semi-fluid that acts as a rubber ball that gives elasticity and compressibility to the disc. Second one is annulus fibrosus, that is a strong outer ring composed of fibrocartilage, which holds the vertebrae together. This disc acts as a shock absorber during different physical activities such as walking, jumping, and running. Any severe or sudden physical trauma can cause herniated or slip disc. The slip disc is also known as herniated disc. This herniated disc involves the rupture of annulus fibrosus, that is the outer cartilaginous ring, followed by the projection of inner nucleus pulposus. This projection presses the spinal cord or nerves that generates severe pain. The treatment of slip disc is the bed rest and the painkillers. This disc may be removed surgically in severe conditions. Next condition is spondylosis. It is the immobility and the fusion of vertebral joints. The most common form is cervical spondylosis, which is the fusion of cervical vertebrae in neck region. Next is sciatica. It is the pain radiated from sciatic nerve, which is the largest and the longest nerve of the body that connects the spinal cord with legs. The causes of sciatica is a herniated disc, injury to proximal part of the nerve, the improper administration of injection into the buttock. Recovery from the sciatica is usually slow and incomplete. Arthritis. Arthritis is the inflammation of joints. The acute form results from the bacterial invasion and are treated with antibiotics. The membrane and the lining of the joints become thick and reduce the production of synovial fluid that leads to the increased friction. The chronic arthritis includes the osteoarthritis. It is the inflammation of entire bones. Rheumatoid arthritis, it is the deformation of just finger joints and soft tissues are also affected. Gouty arthritis, it is the accumulation of uric acid crystals in the joint of knee or the big toe. Next topic is the repair of broken bone. The broken bone is called the fracture. Fracture is treated by the reduction followed by the realignment of the broken end. There are two types of reduction, the closed reduction and open reduction. In closed reduction, the bone ends are fixed back to their normal position by physician's hand. The open reduction, it is done with surgery. The bone ends are held together by pins and wires and immobilized by a cast to allow the healing process to begin. The healing time is about 8 to 12 weeks. The time would be longer for the weight bearing bones and the bones of the older people due to the poorer blood circulation. The repair process, there are four phases of repair process. First one is known as the hematoma formation. At the fracture site, the broken blood vessels form hematoma, that is the mass of clotted blood. Tissues at the fracture site become swollen, causes a lot of pain. Second phase is callus formation. Within 3 to 4 weeks of fracture, the soft callus begins to form. The capillaries grows in hematoma and clear up the debris. The fibroblast and osteoclast cells migrate towards the fracture site and begin to the construction of the bone. The third phase is bony callus formation. The osteoclast cells and osteoblast cells continues to migrate and converts the soft callus into bony callus. The bone formation starts after the 3 weeks of injury and continues until a firm bone is formed within 2 to 3 months. In mending process, a ring of new bone is formed around the fracture. The mended bone is slightly thicker in the region of fracture. The last phase of the repair process is remodeling. It is a new bone that is formed at the fracture site is known as remodeled or reshaped bone. The unwanted bits are broken down and reabsorbed. The final mended bone is undetectable in X-ray. Thank you students for your attention.